What is going on, everybody? Depraved Slash here, and we are back with another music reaction. I'm Depraved.
I'm Hellcat.
Together we are
HellaDepraved.
Yes, we are. And this is
Hella
your pick.
excited.
Take it away, baby.
So it dropped a few days ago.
Okay.
Actually, a little bit more than that. And I'm super excited. It's the next single off of the new Epica album that is not yet out, but we are getting little teasers here and there. So this is Epica Rivers.
Epica.
And it's a visualizer. And
Epica.
the last one I think we did was the wolf one.
Yes.
That was crazy cool visualizer. So I'm looking forward to this.
Me too. I had a joke that I was going to input, and I don't even remember what it was now. So we're just going to move on.
All right.
So we're going to react to this if you guys have already seen it. If you've not seen it, please click the link in the description below. Hop on over, watch the video, leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment, let Epica know we sent you, and then come on back. And we say that because we're a breakdown channel. She's got the lyrics pulled up. We're going to break down the lyrics if we need those. Depends on how
convoluted the singing gets, like
right.
Depending on what kind of effects they put on it. But yeah, we will listen, and then when we hear kind of a break where we think the verse might end is when we will go back and read them and see what we caught and also break them down. Yes.
So there's going to be pauses. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to slash it up and break it down. This is Epica with Rivers.
I'm excited.
Let's get it.
Sounds so sweet.
Become one with imagination. No more fairy tales. Our souls will unite together. We will lift the veil.
She's such a pretty voice.
She does. So straight out the gate, become one with imagination.
No more fairy tales.
No more fairy tales. She's saying, like, my interpretation of it is, like, stop just dreaming.
Yeah, we're going to make dreams reality.
And do it.
Yeah.
Not as forceful.
I mean, it's definitely, you hear no more fairy tales, and sometimes you think, like, oh no, you're forced to face reality. But she's saying, become one with imagination, so create your fantasy in reality.
Imagination.
And then we'll lift the veil, so the separation, dividing, because there's normally, in a lot of mythology, there's a veil dividing the mortal world, reality, whatever you want to call it, human, from like the fae, or there's always a different world that they live in, the spirits, the ghosts. You have to lift the veil. So she's saying we're going to unite and, you know, become one with all of our dreams. But yeah, I think it's in a more pragmatic way, like you stated, like,
right.
Quit just dreaming, do it.
Your touch has turned to stone. No fire in your bones. It's time to leave the past behind. The road is never ending. All dreams will start ascending beyond the boundaries of the mind. Break loose from the
So pretty. pretty.
Hated lyrics.
Okay, yeah, because
I got lost in her voice.
your touch has turned to stone. No fire in your bones. I'm taking that as like you've become sort of numb, like the spark has gone out of you. It's time to leave the past behind. The road is never ending. All dreams will start ascending beyond the boundaries of the mind.
Which, taking what you said, you can, the end of that you can actually say is like, a lot of people let what's happened in the past keep them from moving forward.
Right.
And
it snuffs out the spark in them.
And it almost sets a barrier. Like,
Yep.
they feel like they can move no further past this point because
Right.
something has happened that has...
And our road, we never stop evolving.
Right.
While we're still alive. Or we don't have we never lose the ability to keep evolving. So our road is never ending. All dreams will start ascending beyond the boundaries of the mind. So again, it's making those dreams a reality. Right. Versus keeping them locked inside or frozen in stone. I mean, they often say that like children are much more receptive to fairies or whatnot because they haven't locked down that part of the mind that makes them stop believing.
Right.
So it's almost like, you know, it's not necessarily... I just keep going back to that because she said fairy tales. But like, again, it's those dreams that you had of maybe what you wanted to be or what you wanted to do that... you felt like reality set in and you had to take this 9 to 5 in order to feed your family or whatever. It's
right.
like, you know, if you follow your dreams, it'll work out. So it might be hard. You might have to do both at the same time for a while, but you'll be happier. Right. You'll evolve and that road will not feel like it's a chore that it's never ending. It'll be an adventure.
Right.
You know?
Beyond the boundaries of the mind, break loose from the chains, rise above the waves, fighting in the darkness, dancing in the light. Break out of your cage, turn another page, drowning in the river, swim against the tide of life.
That gave me chills.
Yeah, they went with her ethereal, sweet voice this time. And the instrumental is so simple that it's highlighting her voice 100%. Yeah. So it's break loose from the chains, rise above the waves, fighting in the darkness, dancing in the light, break out of your cage, turn another page, drowning in the river, swimming against the tide of life.
Right. Which a lot of times, if you're going to actually chase your dreams and chase what it is that you want to do in life, society is always going to push you into a mold. That's like honestly
the 9 to 5.
That's honestly kind of what society's built for, is to push people into a mold and push them into...
It's a way of regulation, of order.
Prime example... So in school, they have always put desks, for the most part. Some classes, some teachers have tried to get away from this. Right. But schools typically, they put your desks in rows, and it's a representation of working in a factory, because you work on an assembly line.
You're going to be in rows, yeah. So
they try to put you in rows to get you used to just being in lines.
Or now working in an office, honeycomb environment. Yeah.
Right. And then another thing they do is they grade, well, mainly here in America.
Right.
I don't know.
We are speaking from American experience.
Right. I don't know how they do it in other countries, but we typically hand out grades, grade A, grade B,
right,
grade C. And that's also a representation of grades of meat. Which, again... back when schools really started becoming more organized and Because, I mean, schools have always been around even before there were, like, you know,
Well, yeah.
meat shops and things like that. But they started handing out grades like that in order, like, because that's...
To prepare you for jobs that you were most likely to go into.
Right.
I mean, even setting the type of schedules, the strict schedules that they have, where there's only like 5 minutes to scramble between your classes and so on and so forth, are to kind of train you. It's a Pavlov's dog thing, except minus the reward. So, you know, but
your paycheck is your reward.
Yeah, except for the taxes they take out of it, and never mind.
Right.
So, but yeah, she's. It seems almost like they're using the river, at least here, as sort of a representation of your past, because she's used rise above the waves and then drowning in the river, and you need to swim against the tide of life. So society or your baggage from your past are pulling you one way, but in order to progress and grow and be happy and, you know, dance again, find your spark again, you need to swim against all that.
Gotta go against the grain.
Yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful way of verbalizing it, for sure.
Right. And definitely fits the Native American theme, I think we said they were going with. Or we felt they were going with.
Well, at least in the last one, yeah. The wolf was the longer title. Wolves Within, something like that. Yeah.
Right. I missed.
Holding tight to the ever after, living for a sign to survive raging storms together through the eye of time.
Christ. It's so pretty. Holding tight to the ever after, living for a sign, to survive raging storms together through the eye of time. I think a lot of people are, again, I'm going to tie this to religion. They could mean something else, but so many people are living their life dependent on an afterlife. Like, they're holding tight to the ever after. Like, that idea.
I'm going to stick more to the theme of the rest of the song.
Okay.
Because as I sit here and read it, it says, holding tight to the ever after, living for a sign. And so many people, it's going back to the fairy tale thing she started off with. How do fairy tales end? Happily ever after. So people are looking for, holding on to that hope of the ever after, living happily.
But still within a lifetime.
And they're looking for a sign. They're looking for that thing that...
Instead of going out there and following their dream, they're waiting for a sign.
They're waiting for it to be handed to them, basically.
Got it.
Because, like, how many times have we seen artists say something like, I'm just waiting, you know, I'm waiting for that chance, I'm waiting for that time. It's like, no, you got to go out there and get it.
Right.
It's not just going to be handed to you. You got to work for it.
Right. I mean, you may have the skill, you may have the production, but yeah, you need to actually push it if that's your dream. Okay, I could definitely see that. To survive raging storms together through the eye of time. Again, I really feel like they've been talking a lot about unification.
Right.
In the this is I think the 4th single, something like that, off of this album, and just the unification of humanity, and like we could survive a lot with help. Right. And I think that holds true just, you know, without all of humanity being united, because let's face it, beautiful dream, not reality. But how many of us really, we need our support system.
Right.
So, again, I think, yeah.
The eye of time. The eye shows no reflection, no dreams without inception, exist within oceans of of time. Break loose.
Alright, before we get into the second chorus. The eye shows no reflection, no dreams without inception, exists within oceans of time. So what inception is, to my understanding, is... I don't actually know what inception is. I know the movie Inception, which is about being in a dream that's in a dream that's in a dream.
Right, but isn't it just, it's the concept. It's the making a concept into reality.
Okay.
Inception is like the act of. So, I mean, when she's talking about to survive raging storms together through the eye of time, it's almost like you're viewing the storms through like a linear fashion. Like you're looking at it as history, kind of.
Right.
In the eye not showing a reflection, you know, it's
I'll go back up a little bit. Is there a way we could see the... No, because the ad.
So it's through the eye of time. The eye shows no reflection. No dreams without inception exists within oceans of time.
So maybe the eye shows no reflection is... Because if you go back a little bit to what they were saying before in terms of working together, there's not going to be a reflection of just you.
Right.
If you're going to get through it, it does take others to be there with you.
Right. Or, you know, and the eye is not a human standard eye. It's a viewpoint outside of us.
Right.
Because you have to... The dream isn't a dream if you have worked to achieve it. So, all right.
All right, and then we'll play through the chorus and get through the beginning of the next verse.
From the chains, rise above the waves, fighting in the darkness, dancing in the light. Break out of your cage, turn another page, drowning in the river, swim against the tide of life. The core in which we're living is no more than the present. The scheme of life became deranged. Dark clouds with silver linings until the mysteries of tremble and shine. Break loose from the...
Jeez.
I love her voice.
Jeez.
Love her voice.
Yeah. All right. The coil in which we're living, mortal coil, is no more than a prison. The scheme of life became deranged. Dark clouds with silver linings attain the mysteries of shadow and shine.
So, as she said, it's...
Mortal coil.
Our physical beings are really just a prison of our soul.
Right.
Well,
and also, yeah, I better use my favorite word again.
cyclical.
History has shown that it's cyclical. We as a species have a tendency to circle back on ourselves and repeat ourselves, and major events, even nature itself has its cycles in terms of cooling and heating and major disasters and so on and so forth. And we get locked into that And even in our daily lives, again, the schedules, the 9 to 5s, all of that we do on repeat. And you kind of have to break out of that to achieve actual living,
Right.
like actual living. And so she says the scheme of life became deranged, you know?
Which, if you look at the history of man, roughly around what we know for a fact to be a start, it was about survival,
Right.
but you survived in your pack. Like,
Right.
they went
Your
out and
tribe,
hunted together.
Yeah.
You look at like the history of the Indians and stuff, how they pretty much worship the earth.
Right.
Um,
All different groups of humans worship the earth at one point or another. We've changed into something further than that, but yeah.
like, if I remember correctly, and again, the Indians, I remember reading somewhere where they believed in leaving the earth in as good or better
condition
for future generations.
Yep. They still believe that.
Right. But as times changed, the Middle Ages,
Right.
New contraptions, new buildings, and as
continuously pollute and
right.
damage the earth.
And as time's gone on, we go through the Industrial Age, the Golden Age,
right.
and more new things. Technology's picking up.
More to ravage
exactly.
natural resources
and
damage the earth and the
But through all of that, then all of a sudden society becomes society. What we know of it as today.
No longer in what we would consider tribe-like.
Right.
We're one.
So now we're in the society where, again, they're teaching us from a very young age, you got to work, you got to do a 9 to 5, got to pay bills, got to...
we're a workforce is what we are.
Exactly.
We're trained to become worker bees that are interchangeable. We're replaceable. But, yeah, we're on repeat. It doesn't matter if you look at the bigger timeline or if you look at the daily timeline. Like, there are things that we're basically programmed to do. And in that capacity, society has become deranged.
Right.
We're all a bit crazy, but so few people are doing what makes them happy. We're no longer looking around at life and enjoying life and the world, the earth, what we have been given, what we're taking for granted. Of course, dark clouds with silver linings. Look for the silver lining is a common phrase for
when times are rough.
Look for the spot of light. Look for the good in the situation.
And I love the next line, probably the most out of all of this. Attain the mysteries of shadow and shine, which I think of it as when you look into the shadows, you're looking into the unknown. And again, that when kids are afraid of the dark, it's not necessarily the dark that they're afraid of. It's what's in the dark. And as a part of life, when you're chasing your dreams, you're going into the unknown. You don't know how it's going to turn out.
Right.
You don't know if you're going to be successful at what you want to do.
Right. You don't know what the future holds for you.
But you have to be willing to tread the darkness in order to find the light, to obtain the shine that you're looking for. And a lot of people, I think, would listen to this and think of shine in a monetary value. If that's what is the shine to you, then yeah.
It's definitely shiny, but yeah.
But the shine is just what
obtaining your
you
happiness.
Find to be successful and happiness.
The positive within the dark. Like,
right.
what is it that draws you to that? I really I like the duality there, because it's not attain the mysteries of the shine through the shadow. It's attain the mysteries of the shadow and shine.
Right.
Like, you can't have one without the other. You have to
balance.
Yeah, and you have to look at, say, your past baggage in order to grow from it, to understand it, to not repeat it, to get over it. Get over it, for one. And that will help you on your path to attain whatever you're your joy is, whatever that shine is. I was also thinking that your journey through the shadows, like, as you were saying, you don't know what the future holds when you go that path, and it's because you just got off of the coil.
Right.
At least the societal coil. Obviously, the mortal coil is not really an option until you unsubscribe from life. So, there is that.
I hope I can haunt people.
Yeah, I kind of... At least for a little bit. At least.
Right.
Just, you know, asking for 50 years or something. They knocked it out of the park again.
I love the heartbeat sound.
Yeah. Oh, well, and I just really like that melody on the piano for some reason. Like, it sounds kind of familiar. Just that melody, but I really like how they put this together and made Simone's voice the instrument in this. Everything else was so reserved until the final, you know, statement.
Right.
And then it died off again. Kind of like the tides. But yeah, she had her beautiful little soprano voice for this one, which was perfect. It was perfect. I loved it.
I loved the visualizer as well, which was a lot of like water receding
Right.
off of things.
Right. You're swimming against the tide. You're trying to get out of the waves. Yeah.
Right.
And water's not necessarily obviously a bad thing. It's normally seen as cleansing or whatever. But yeah, if you get into the deep water or into the tide or whatever, you're going to be pulled in the direction it wants you, which ends up drowning you. Obviously, I mean, I love the sparkle that she wore, simply because, again, it's that kind of wet look to go with the theme. I would look horrible as a human disco ball, but she looked quite lovely. Quite lovely.
She's a beautiful lady.
She is. Beautiful voice. 10 out of 10. We'll listen to again. Probably to meditate to and like fall asleep. Like that kind of meditating. Just zone out.
I don't meditate. I crash.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. But sometimes I need to clear the headspace by putting something beautiful into it and then I zone.
Until she wakes me up.
When the alarm's been going off for a while.
I was talking about when you go pee. Sometimes you do wake me up. It's not your fault.
Very occasionally.
But that's not your fault. That's
very.
I feel like I feel you not near me.
Ah.
And then I'm like, wait, where?
So this is not I disturb him. This is my spirit is no longer in the area.
I legit don't hardly ever, I don't speak correctly here. I hardly ever feel you get out of bed.
Right.
The way our mattress is, like, it's very non-shaky the rest of the bed until we're shaking it together.
That's how it's supposed to be.
But yeah, it's
yeah, I don't disturb you, but you sense that there's
a disturbance in my force.
Right. On that note, I can't wait for this album. I'm super excited. I have really liked the way that they have gone with their theme that's going through this about, again, like the unification of humanity through a more spiritual, not religious, but like coming back to nature, like appreciation for what we truly have here.
Right.
Sort of concept. I'm really. Plus, her voice has just it's matured so beautifully.
I would say you totally didn't say anything there. Her voice is what
Yeah,
it
that's
like.
she in stirs mix zone.
All right, she's speaking in tongues, y'all. So we gotta bounce.
I think some people will understand what I was trying to get across there. Like, yeah, she turns my brain to mush because it zones me out so wonderfully.
See, now was it that hard to use your words?
It was terribly difficult.
All right, guys. So with that being said, if you guys like the video, slash that like button, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Comment down below, what did you think of Epica with Rivers? Also comment down below if there's anything else you guys want to see reaction to. Check the description below for all the things.
Push our buttons. Come join us on our other social media platforms, mostly Twitter if you want a quicker response.
With that being said, we love you guys. Thank you all for watching. Cannot wait to see you, depraved people, later. Peace.